And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack ASTRO Open live from Denver. Well on our way through some of our final matches in the groups here. We just had an amazing map on Mirage between CLG and the Renegades. CLG almost coming back towards the very end of it in the second half with a great start there, but Renegades came back even stronger and were able to take it at the end of the day, 16-13. So they hold the advantage, 1-0 in the set, and we're getting ready to jump onto our second map now here on Cobble.
Yeah, they definitely set the bar very high. It's exciting it can get to have two teams go that close, but not only that, it's two teams that are very well prepared for each other that, you know, we've casted them in EPL. We know that they have like a ton of experience. They prepare for each other. They know each other probably like on a personal level. I don't know how much they hang out, take mud baths together.
Some are former
hot
teammates.
Yoga, potentially. So. That's true too. Yeah, they're former teammates, and that's a big deal. You know, Ryu's even got like a little bit of inside info on Nifty, and knows him very well as well. So that makes it way more exciting, and that's why we see the map be so close, right? It's never going to be a stomp one way or the other when teams are so familiar with each other's playstyles. But now we move into Cobble after Renegades took a very close victory versus CLG map 1 on Mirage, and it's going to be very tough for CLG, I think, because they looked particularly sketchy on Cobble yesterday, and Renegades have been looking pretty good.
Do you think that the map 1 performance kind of changes your mind at all about CLG's chances going into the second map? Because for me, this is where I feel Renegades have the most chance to close out personally. I feel like this is where they have the biggest advantage. I don't know if you have different thoughts on it. Or...
Yeah, I think the exact same thing. So I actually said before the game started that I think that the both maps will be pretty close, and Renegades will edge them out. And I thought, you know, I thought for sure if CLG would bring this to map 3, that was probably going to be on Mirage. So I anticipate that Renegades have a good opportunity to close it out here and now. They definitely want to strike while the iron's hot, and they have all the confidence on their side, and they just put together a really huge win. So, you know, if you're in CLG's camp, you definitely don't want to have a loser mentality and say, well, all right, well, we just lost the game we probably should have won. Like, whatever, let's go home. You know, you're here, right?
Yeah.
You know, so they're going to commit very hard, I'm sure, and they'll look past the loss. But still, it's always nice to have a lead.
Best of threes, you have to be ready to continue the fight, and well, they're going to be continuing the fight right now as it is time to jump into the second map. Renegades will be starting off on the T side. CLG will be going on to the CT side, and of course, as you can see there now, it is going to be Cobblestone we'll be jumping into. That'll be the battlefield for this map, and it'll be Renegades' first chance to end this series and push themselves forward into the semifinals tomorrow.
All right, let's get it. We have 3 players from Renegades buying up armor. They're going for their lower mid dive, and Cutler's going to hear all these footsteps. He's going to have a couple of opponents coming to him. The spacing isn't great, but Nifty does the job by himself, putting Akusta in kind of an awkward position. But because they got that kill, they know they're going to call for some rotates, because the rotate back is not that bad. And just for a second, they might want to slow it down, whether they re-aggress or not.
Akusta moving in, is able to get a nice little one-tap off onto Azza there, takes him out. Oh, another one from Finesse, actually, eliminates Naf. And now, all of a sudden, Renegades are not looking that great at all here. 3 players remaining to try and win out this round with. All of them are pretty much, except for Ustilo, of course, going to be coming up out of a long. Ustilo on ramp, though, is able to get his first kill. Finesse spamming back in, knocks out about half his HP, and then swings to another player. The headshot him out, but then he'll fall to Ustilo. They still have to deal with the one player up on site, though, that they haven't realized it's here yet. Wow! Ustilo instantly checks and headshots him out. So goodbye to Akusta, as it's just Ricky left alive. Trying to pull off a 1v2, but of course, it's the pistol round, so anything can still happen. Moves in, finds the first one, knows the second one's hiding in the corner there. Has used the entire magazine, though, so needs to go for the reload. Ustilo will give him that time. It'll be a 4K from Ustilo if he can close up, but Ricky does have the health pool advantage going into this fight. Looks for the final bullets. Ustilo is going to play this in a smart way. He's going to play this in a distracting way to waste time, but ends up getting the kill anyway to give Renegades control over the early game with this pistol win.
Damn, it comes down to Aussie versus Aussie, but and Aussie wins. But ultimately, it was very, very close. It was a good round from Finesse to get those 2 kills in response to the opening kill going the way of Renegades. And then, you know, you still getting that crack in the door and having the awareness to check the back of the site, too. He is in my opinion, the only question mark on the team in terms of what it is that he does for the team, and you know, his performances being up and down. It's like, again, there's always that room for the player who has like really good input, that has a place on the team, but no, despite how maybe poor their individual performances are. Oh, wow, there he's getting headshotted by FNS. Not much he can do about that. Tried to go for a safe approach to long, and off of a single peek, gets his head blown off. Smoke at long actually denies information from the CTs more than the Ts here. So they would love to be able to know more about what's going on at long B. Renegades, however, are happy to reset after going down 1-1. And it seems like there's a recongregation of the terrorists towards A. Actually, no, they might be moving back. And the CTs have stood steadfast.
They're thinking about it here in terms of which way they want to take this, just trying to weigh the risks out. Obviously, good chance of there being a heavier stack on this B site, just by the way that Cobble plays, but looks like they're going to challenge it anyway. And as they move out, well, they've got a two-man setup to stop it. They get a first kill. Finesse goes down afterwards, and so does Kusta. So that is going to clear out the site for the most part, actually. There is another player still hiding out by Rock. That's going to be Ethan trying to stop some of this, but a smoke is restricting his vision too, and ultimately he will just get picked off before he can fully fall back. Cutler quickly gets into a flank position. Unfortunately, with full site control maintained, they are going to have someone watching for this. In fact, it looks like almost two people watching for this. One checking further back into the site. They'll knock out the low player here with eliminating Nifty, but just like that, Naf is up on the platform to knock out Cutler and win the round for the Renegades.
Honestly, man, if you know that the long plat is clear, and they didn't know that, but they could have used mollies, for example. So if they like mollied at the left side and the stairs, and made sure that no one was at the box, threw their smokes, one for the door, all that stuff from safety, swing out long B with a flash, stay against the wall, don't jump out into path. Like, you can do that on a rifle round and circumvent the site and kill players on statue and avoid getting ops, but versus pistoling, players are going to stand around broken wall, don't bother jumping out. And here's Ricky playing. Ricky, will he get the Zeus? No, it's not enough damage.
Oh.
He loves that spot, though.
Yeah, and he almost gets it this time. And actually, we can see a little Glock kill coming out there from Azure too, but ultimately the entire team from CLG gets shut down with only the one trade against JKS to show for it. A little bit scrappy as we can see a couple of the members from the T side getting low, but ultimately they still win the round with a majority of their players alive, and that means they're going to have quite a few SMGs going into this first gun round here, so it'll be a bit of a bonus round for them.
Yeah, it's a nice position to be in after the third round in particular. Extremely hard for the USPs to get the kills, but actually way more valuable, considering it's it's a decision as to whether or not Renegades would, or the terrorists or the saving team would, or the winning team would want to rebuy or upgrade at this point. So the two MAC-10s have some potential. Now this does cook both ways. CLG probably have an easier route to winning the round, but again, they know that even if they take a lot of damage, Renegades are going to be here to buy again.
So Ricky ends up shifting his way to the top of platform here, watching out for Renegade's push if they should go out on platform, which is, of course, going to be of high likelihood, but they'll keep their options open. Nifty specifically is going to be going in to clear out mid-connector here, and even Molly's the corner to see if anyone from CLG was hiding there. Both the platform approach, for the most part, and a long and mid-control, or mid-connector, are going to be relatively open if the Renegades want to go in and take that, so they pretty much have whatever execute option they want to try to set up for, and they can get into their positions for pretty much free. CLG is playing an incredibly passive CT side. That could come back to bite them just because they're going to have a lack of intel when this hit actually ends up happening. Yeah,
you can see that it affects the rotates. Nifty having all this info at A, and it's because you're now demanding that two CTs play this site with the threat being there. But it is on the Renegades to make sure that they not only get drop control safely, which they now have, but also split B together and not give up a kill for no reason. As they're speaking out the window, there he is. He fights that Finesse, but ends up getting killed.
Ricky will go down inside of the cubby there at platform, though, so a quick trade keeps it even again. And now as more push in, Finesse able to find one on the cross. Kusta catching one of the few players that tried to push towards A. There's going to be more coming in a second, though, and they do not have a lot of time to make that entry happen. Thankfully for them, though, pretty much everybody except for now Cutler is rotated off the site. Cutler's going to be trying to hide up on the platform and delay this plant by any means necessary. And if he gets even one kill, he might have just accomplished that goal. They're being loud coming into this site, so Cutler has plenty of a warning that they're going to get here. They try to play the bomb quickly, and Naf gets that kill, so I believe they got the plan. Yes, they get it, and Naf holding in the open, though, he goes down. So it's JKS to look for a 1v3 clutch in order to win this round. They're sitting at default right now. That's not where the bomb's planted, though. It's planted much more in the open, and JKS is hoping that they wrap CT. No, not going to happen. He goes out, finds one on the platform. He's got a second low, but that player is being smart, hiding behind the barrier there, making sure that he runs it to a headshot. Ethan will be the last alive, but he'll also be the one that finally trades the kill on a JKS and wins it for CLG.
Dude, that's huge. I mean, they got so many kills in that after plant. They got the bomb down. They know that CLG realized they had two MAC-10s on that round. That is as close to a win as you can possibly get. So, man, that bomb should not have, there is no, I can't believe that it actually, with just 4 seconds left, they got that instant entry. All Cutler had to do was just delay a little bit longer, simply not die, take the fight afterwards. I don't know. That would have been, there's a number of ways that they could have denied that. But now they're going to rebuy Pharmacists down to 0 while Renegades have a full buy, more money left over, and at the very least CLG get the round. But that came too close for comfort on such a panic rotation back to A. And they got the most map control possible as well early in the round, as you were talking about. Cloud drop control safety, cleared out A, pushed the CTs back on the site, had 2-3 on A and B, which is exactly what you want, and then split B, which is exactly what you want to do. So, They didn't win, but maybe they had 5 rifles. And now they have another opportunity.
At the very least, they keep CLG's money pretty much at the breaking point here. So now on the real first gun round, after they've actually got everybody with 5 AKs and of course the op on Nifty, if they can win here, then immediately CLG's broken. And even better now, they reset their losing bonus. So that completely resets them and makes Renegades, it gives Renegades a really easy time to shoot up to something like 6-1 or something like that.
Yeah, they're on food stamps right now. They've got to move back home with their parents, save all the money they can, get their life together, because this is they're living paycheck to paycheck at the moment.
So now Renegades, well, they are going to be shifting most of their players into the B halls, trying to look for a hit out on this site. Obviously, CLG have plenty of players here to defend it. 3 at the moment, actually, which is a little bit light. Seems like they moved a rotated player over towards the A site a little bit early, but he's only in heaven, so he can actually get over to the B site relatively quickly. That is the op, though, so they actually have no op presence on B currently.
They have 0 nades at B, not a single nade.
But they do have quite a few players in drop, but that's not going to work too well as it ends up being a 1-2 trade. Ethan now stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he lines up 2 kills, tries to go for that wild swing on the sidewalk too. However, he does it just a tad early, and Naf, as a result, is going to be able to trade him. But because of that, that keeps the fight even, keeps it into a 2v2. Renegades will be able to find the plant, but now CLG end up creeping in. And I think the player on the other side of Boost Box might have heard Nifty scoping here, but he'll relocate now, so it becomes a bit irrelevant. He will be up on top here. Both of them actually are just going to play onto this platform since they're also out of utility too. CLG have a little bit. They've got a couple smokes they can utilize to try and get forward here, push themselves forward right up to the bomb. There's also a player holding left statue. It's a great position, but Naf gets out of the danger zone. However, Nifty does not. He ends up in the open. Naf continues this fight, trying to just edge out the damage one by one, or at least delay the defuse. He's going to get pushed at steps though, and that'll allow Cutler to take him down. And with Kusta already well on his way to the defuse, CLG will take the win there and put the scoreline at 3-2.
Yo, shut up my mucus. Dude, Ethan getting those 2 kills, that's massive. Shuts down the drop split by himself. Looks for the crazy 3rd one, can't actually get that kill, but that's too much to ask for the kid. He did what he could. And yeah, the only player with a full nade set and a kit was Kusta rotating from A, so it was very important that the B players put something together. Renegades did everything right once again, and they got in the site. They just weren't able to trade that frag, so important that the individual plays came through for CLG, bought them a second lease on life, but the money's still quite low. Thankfully for them, they hang on to the op in particular and actually put a second one on the board to increase their chances of being able to win a round with a lot of players alive. Renegades are now on the back foot, at least a little bit, have less to work with. Moving into what seems like a B play. CLG don't want to test anything in terms of information. But yeah, it's the 3 players in B as we're used to seeing.
So now, we do see the Renegades getting ready to send their players out quickly onto the B site here. They split them up. They're going to use drop pretty heavily this time too, and they find a first entry kill. However, Ethan is there for a quick trade, and Kusta also holding a position in Coop can find another refrag there to take out Ustillo now. It's down to 3 for the Renegades. All of them trying to push out from Broken Wall. Kusta still holding in Coop and not taking any damage at all from the spam at this point. So Renegades have come to a screeching halt, and it's going to continue to get even worse. Kusta escaping with another flag, this time taking out the player that's up on top of platform. Naf as well, very, very low at 5 HP, but he can still sneak out another kill. The problem is he's now alone with a 1v3 set against him, and Kusta with the fadeaway shot gets his 3rd kill on the round and now secures a tie.
Nice round from both Ethan and Kusta. The op at Chicken Coop stayed stalwart. They didn't have a molly to flush him out of that spot. And it can be kind of squishy once you're spotted. It's nice because you have both sides of the chicken coop have an ability to, like, if you're flat on with them, you can't spam through it, but you still expose yourself a little bit. The T's can kind of get around you or kill the other players in the site and smoke off rotations. You are in a tough spot to be in, but Kusta did a great job staying alive and also hit his shots when he needed to. Didn't allow them to get any closer without getting scared.
Renegades are just actually pretty much just going to rush A long this time. It seems moving out onto the site. It does not work out too well at the beginning of things. 2 quick kills for CLG. Ricky doesn't even need his primary weapon, just does it with the pistol there, as he's also able to knock out one. Ustillo finds the only kill on Finesse. Besides that, it's a clean round from CLG, which is exactly what they need here now to establish this lead and build upon it.
Yeah, definitely a couple of close calls. Renegades weren't able to capitalize, and suddenly CLG have stolen back the economy and are putting Renegades in a buy save spin. So 2 ops again has been a strong adjustment. I like that they picked that up after they closely won their round, and we have a more dominant take at it. So it's been a lot of E presence from Renegades. Map control is going quite well, but the site holds have been too damn strong.
Kusta is actually going to try to go for another aggressive pick, but this time it does not work out. He actually loses half of his HP and has to use up his molly very quickly to prevent the tease from following that through. Ricky, on the other hand, has a very advanced position, but he's going to miss that shot. Now he's going to hop wing and expand through the door, misses the refire from his own op, and because of that, Nifty can just continue spamming, taking him out and giving Renegades an early advantage now to play off of.
Oh, did he recover the op? No. No, yeah, he did. Wow. That's a big find. I mean, that op trades hands. It's 5v4. But fortunately for CLG, they won that last round so decisively. They got some money in the bank. Still want to focus on what's in front of us, however. And even though drop control has been taken over and over again, it hasn't meant a lot for the Renegades. They haven't really been able to abuse it past the point of execution. Default looking strong, but
as soon as they get out to like boost or something like that, they seem to get traded too heavily by CLG.
Yeah.
As we've so often seen in a lot of these BXQs. They're going to go for another one here, but this time with the early kill. The defense doesn't look that well set up. JKS, though, giving away a life back over here at ramp. A nice little boost up walk to get outside of window still here, so they have that. They're actually going to do a drop split, though, it looks like, as they send their players through outside of the window still. Nobody's watching the flank from B currently, though, so Ethan, he's going to be free to walk right up onto these players. Naf shifting away from him, but not the correct pattern. Ethan will move in, take out Naf. Nifty did find another entry kill, however, so that lets them go up onto the site. With the elimination of Finesse, now they're at a disadvantage, and it'll get even worse as Ethan finally falls. Kusta will find one trade moving up. However, he goes down 2 to Nifty, and now we're tied again.
Damn, it looked like a lot of those trades were too close to comfort, but we do see that map control ends up edging out a round for the Renegades. Taking drop control and being able to control rotations was really big. They caught CLG off guard, and every time you get a little bit more map control, it's a little bit less information for the CTs. And the more information for the CTs means better rotates, means CTs can play together more, and that's exactly what Renegades have been denying. Now, it does feel like Renegades should be a lot farther ahead, so I will give CLG the credit here, but it does seem like they have a less sustainable way of closing out these rounds.
Renegades will continue to push forward here, this time forcing their hand over at platform. Fortunately, the player that's playing close Broken Wall get flashed out, but they respond with a good flash on their own regard there. Completely blinding pretty much everybody at platform. Now we see the trades finally broiling in a 1-for-1 to start. Naf having sidewalk control, and Azza getting another pickup here against Cutler all of a sudden. Now Kusta sits back, trying to look for someone pushing him, but there's no one being seen at this point. Renegades have kind of come to a halt, but this is dangerous for the Renegades, because now we can see the Oppers move into position along with the Riflers and start picking these players off as they finally start to make some momentum. Now they're all of a sudden at a disadvantage here. Now for the good spin around, knocks out FNS, and JKS finds an additional pickup. It's all left to Ricky, and he's stuck inside of dropping behind the doors right now, trying to force his way back onto the site. He'll use the molly, dive into this T-smoke, and try to use it to get further control on sidewalk, but eventually just ends up routing back into the drop room, and I think this is where he might fall back and call for a save if he can't get the pick on this final peek at the door. He will realize this is pretty much an impossible situation with the op in hand, so it's going to be better to fall back and save that very expensive gun for a later round.
Yeah, it's tough, man. He's got the divine weapon. He doesn't want to give this up, but he would love to go for it. The 2v1 is within reach, but it's just so unlikely. It's so unlikely to be able to like have their opponents make those mistakes, and the value of the op there when you know that you're going to have to save next round is too great. I mean, as for Renegades, they move into the next round. They're happy they won. They pulled it off with just like a fast B play, which you want to throw those in every once in a while after you've conditioned your opponents, but I think Renegades have done a great job of doing. One of the reasons I've been lauding this team is that they have like layers, you know, more layers than most. But they will be thinking about the fact that Ricky did save this op, so it's very important that he did have it. Now, it's like, people are worried about winning anti-ecos as is, but if a team has an op as well, and you know you might actually sacrifice someone trying to scout out map control, that can help the CTs and control and put a muzzle on the terrorists if they try to be too explosive.
You can see it there on the screen. CLG is going to be taking a tack pause here really quickly. Definitely not at a point where they can really afford much of a buy-up besides just a couple P250s and whatnot here if they want to stay around that generally acceptable 2K mark for the rebuy into the next round.
Ricky has a very versatile spawn. This is very interesting. So he can go up for he can jump up on B plat and look for a frag, or he can go to lower mid and look for a frag. He could do it with a boost. He could get boosted drop if he feels like Renegades are going to take this round out slowly. And is the other team allowed to talk during a pause from?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. I wasn't sure they got muted or something.
No, I don't think they would do that.
Okay. freedom of speech in America.
Rickey's going to move in. He tries to get a quick shock out from door, but not going to happen. It's a little bit too far to the left. And no, even worse. He gets spammed for about half of his HP through that. No one else has armor, so it's not like he could toss the op to someone else. He's pretty much going to have to deal with that loss of HP.
So now it's just Ricky's going to try to make presence, and he should be trying to make presence as many places as possible. Always make it seem like there's the looming threat that he goes to the other side of the map. So Renegades are going to be juggled back and forth. That's ideal. Now, ultimately, it seems like he's going to be committing here, has made one more noise, and that can play both ways. Sometimes Renegades will overthink it, they'll hit the site again, and it's not absolutely imperative that you go to both sites to make noise, but it seems like Renegades are intent on taking B. It's the correct read. Ricky hasn't rotated, and they've got an open site to plant the bomb.
Well, we've got Renegades coming out into the open here now. Basically just an open site to plan on here since CLG gambles back towards A. So it's an easy round for them. They should be able to secure their lead a bit more here, and for these CTs, it's more so about defending Ricky than anything else. So he's not even going to attempt much in terms of exits. He'll post up outside of A long. Someone should come outside of that side door there next to the B halls, and that's great. He can probably get a kill or two there, but ultimately, we're probably not going to end up seeing that, and Renegades should be able to go to this round with a pretty clean record.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Renegades start to maybe walk away with this. Nice USP headshot. Uh-oh, another kill maybe? No.
I think they're going to be able to adjust for this. They're knocking out the others here too. Kusa did sneak in and pick up that AK though, so he's got that too. So they're getting quite a few guns. It's going to make the next round, excuse me, much less expensive here.
And yeah, that's nice. It's a good pickup. They got that AK. They'll take everything they can get. But I was just saying, I think that Renegades T-side's like a lot stronger than the scoreline even shows, and I feel like they have, if they've got a lot of good things going for them in this half, they might actually start to walk away with it. And the reason is because, and I think that's what CLG need to do, is spend a little bit more time with a forward A setup to stop any kind of aggression in the default. Once they do that, because I don't think they're going to anticipate Renegades to do like another fast B hit for a couple of rounds. So, once they play the early game out with the pre-nades and stuff and set up a little bit aggressively, fall back from there. But don't give it up too early. I think the CT is just giving up too much info too early on.
They did actually end up wasting one of their mollies as it got banked off the, there's a little railing up on the ceiling of drop room there, so they end up wasting one of their mollies. Oh, you still as well. Just shift walks, crouch walks his way inside of the suicide room and is able to get a kill. Now with another crazy kill too. Renegades are getting away with murder here right now against CLG. These kills should not be happening.
This isn't the round I want to see. I expect Renegades to do well, but this isn't how I expected it all to go down. This is 3 left for CLG as they rotate into and have tough spots to be.
And now as they move in here, we did finally see one trade coming up from the Opera on the CT side. Ricky picking up so far the only kill the CTs have gotten, but they are set up pretty well to defend against this. They have all 3 players here. In a moment, though, the problem is that Azza is going to end up walking out to see that B is an open site, but that may not matter much since Ricky now pulled out, and we did see one other player going down from CLG on the site, so it's just Ethan left over here to the left of the APC, and he's basically trying to win a dangerous dance, but his odds on that aren't very good. Ricky as well might get challenged. He might just get pinched on absolutely here in a second. Player outside at door is easily going to be able to hear him. So as he walks out, Ethan does find one kill, but Azza, yeah, he'll take out Ricky, and that's now a clean path over to the other side. Azza moves in and knocks out Ethan to finish off the round 2. So it's another one for the Renegades, and they continue to grow their lead at 7-4 now.
That's really tough. Just called for that forward A setup. They do it, but then they just get picked apart. You still have found a really, really crazy way to come in and peek that angle. Like, he was basically not on his screen at all coming into danger. So, I mean, that's just tough for CLG. And obviously the other, Cutler fluffing a spray, can't even make up for it with a straight up 50-50 duel. So that's not how you want the team to end up losing a round, but that's just the way she goes sometimes. You're going to definitely have to see some whiffs from the Renegades later in this game. So you can't think too much about it. But CLG right now have to think about the fact that they have to save. Naf gets an opening kill with the op, gets very aggressive with it, and on his way back, just hits him with the Iverson. Fade away.
It's going to take out Ethan, and Ricky trying to, oh no, he wants to do this again.
Oh. Yeah, this is Ricky. Like, that's his spot on this map that he uses the CZ, or the Zeus.
Vanessa was able to go out there with some pretty good control and take down JKS, so Won't see that Zeus kill this time around, as they did get courtyard control, but still hitting a nice hop there. Anyway, Renegades will get full B site control once more, as it is left completely open after a couple of those kills. And so that's pretty much secures the round for them. All CLG can look to do now is get a couple of exit kills, and more importantly for Rick A, save that scavenged AK and carry that into the next round. Once again, to try and save a little bit of cash here. Naf, though, just spots FNS running out into the open, so that's another easy kill for him. And Rick actually might end up in a fight with this Opper if he's not careful, so he wants to make sure he gets himself into a good position.
Oh my god, I would love somehow for Naf to get Zeused. I don't know why. I'm a sick man. I love Naf, but this would be funny. And no, that's not going to happen. This guy's just in a bunch of places at once, staying very mobile and taking that whole round, putting that on the scoreboard for himself. Pulling away here, 12 frags in the half so far, doing pretty good. He also recovered the Zeus. See if he uses that. But what I'm most curious about is what RC. Oh, he really just blows it in spawn.
Tosses it away.
Yeah, F this.
So we'll get rid of that really quickly.
He's not here to play games.
No, he's here to frag gun. He's a real gun.
So again, I want to, you want to see CLG hold on to map control still as much as they possibly can, because when Renegades default, they've been able to get away with stuff, haven't had to do much work either to get away with it, and a lot of those rounds CLG won, but that won't happen consistently if you give up map control over and over again. That's the point that I've been harping on. So let's see, they're pushed up. Kusta has the op, and he's kind of playing long as you normally do. Flashed off with the opper. Nifty finds a frag.
Had his crosshair painted right up on top of Rick A there too, so Rick A just ending up in a bit of an unfortunate position, and if they had a good pre-fire to be able to get that first kill. Once again, an advantage to the Renegades as they're getting ready to, looked like he was getting ready to toss out that smoke, but now he'll just take the fight anyway. A little bit messy, but he gets the job done. However, Ethan immediately just having Naf run into a wall there with that shot. Tries to spam into it again. He's a little bit off the mark here. Is spotting these players pushing out of the site, so he should call for rotates soon, and that's a nice shot there to kill Azur. Now he's got an AK to play off of too, so he's going to continue this fight, but unfortunately he's the only one here, so he's going to get overwhelmed. The big question is, where are the rotates? Obviously most of them are dead, but we would have hoped he would have seen at least a little bit of additional support. That ultimately will not happen though. Cutler is going to get pushed off the site to save, and Renegades will find another round here, going up 9-4. Yeah,
as you can see, they're starting to walk away with it. They get the 4v4, they get the map control, CLG fight for it a little bit, which is nice to see, but they don't win. And there is two parts of that. You can stand in the right spot, but you also got to get the kill. Unfortunately, they didn't have a really good attempt at taking drop. They just took that dry fight from E-Box, and the value of CT is that your nades are a little bit more expensive, your molly is more expensive and stuff like that, but that's because it's more valuable. And I think you have the advantage to flash players using your nades defensively than you do as an aggressor on T side. So I think it's important to really try to highlight that. And when you are in a position to take a fight versus someone in drop, to have like a team flash or a flash that you could, there's so many easy ones that you could throw from E-Box to try to take a fight, so that there isn't an easy way for your opponents to trade. But man, Ethan did his best here, man. Like if giving someone a sticker star wasn't the most condescending thing you could possibly do in the universe, I would say slap one on his forehead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we jump into this next round here, and CLG do decide to buy into it, even though they don't get the best buy. No op. Kusta has to go down to a deagle because he's been buying ops for the for most of the half so far. And most of these players don't even get M4s. It's only one player, Ethan, that's able to afford one. They're all going to be on FAMASas besides that, as they are trying to look for at least 1 or 2 more rounds to keep it close at 9-6. 11-4, especially with Renegades being on the T side, is going to be a little bit dangerous, as that is them taking dominant control in the first half, and it's going to be tough for CLG to bring that back. Quick push for the Renegades on the platform. Ethan's ready to take that battle, gets 2 kills before going down to Azin. Did great damage to another one, as Naf is down at just 2 HP. Rick could easily finish off this round on his own, actually, if he plays this position properly and works with his teammates here. Let's see what Renegades is going to try to do. Is they're getting a little bit more creative. They will work on the boost-up box, but this is going to be somewhat predictable. Rick ready to take this fight.
Yeah, but this has become very meta, where teams watch for it. The Rockets are very safe to watch it. They're going to time their pushes. Freaking waiting, but it's such a powerful angle. Like, you can make your head up here and, like, so many different points of contact, so.
Alpha move in, take him down. Finesse is there quickly for the trade, however. Now Cutler will just lurk back in, probably try to go through the smoke at Sidewalk, or at least wait for it to fade. Renegades get to the site. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find a plant. And wow, there goes the bomb. So it's an easy cleanup from Cutler at the end of the round. Didn't even need that support from his teammates, as finally we see CLG picking up another one.
Okay, that's nice. And then, this episode of CLG versus Renegades on Cobble, Ethan gets 2 kills at B once again. So this time they actually commit early enough that his teammates are still alive, which is very fortunate for him. And And there's Cutler looking a lot better than he did early in this half with the nice Falma spray, landing the majority of his bullets and making sure that none of his teammates end up dying. So they all have money to buy. It's 5v5, full on buys for both teams. And they've actually found a new way to approach A as well. Cutler's boosted up in a position that if he falls off backwards, Finesse can help him out. Can also get hard cleared though, without Finesse being able to help him out. So I wonder about that, but yeah, that is kind of a risk.
Renegades, after taking that A-long control, they do seem to be kind of halting themselves a little bit.
Oh, it's Kusa's on the door. I didn't realize. Okay, that helps.
And the last round of the half, too. So, a lot to be decided here. CLG looking for at least a 6th round so they can quickly bargain their way back in if they win the T-pistol. Wow, Azur is just getting wrecked at the beginning there. They do a nice shot from Kusa. Doesn't even know really where he got hit from. Take a guess, obviously. But ultimately, he's just gonna have to live with that, losing 75 HP because of an op shot through the door.
How poor was that smoke? Yeah. Some chip damage across the board. Azur really low already. It's going to affect the late round in particular. Tons of nades left for the CTs. 2 players at B, but it might be the only 2 that they need. Bomb's still over at A, and they're trying to throw this double fake, basically.
Probably heavy towards drop and make it look like a bit of a drop to B play, but at the last minute, they'll switch it up to a split. Yeah, we do see all these CTs being pulled over. Nifty goes down relatively quickly. Azur will hold in the transition room, but there is another CT in drop we have to deal with. And there's Cutler now, waiting up on top of the wall. He gets destroyed by JKS. Rikke spamming on the other side is able to find Azur, but Justillo trades the kill right back. It's left to an even 3v3, and the exact goal they wanted has been accomplished. They've kept the CTs behind the wall, haven't let them in. If Ethan dies, then there's no way this retake is really going to be plausible here. So I think they're all going to try to move in together. They've got their other 2 players working towards heaven now. Justillo taking a very, very straightforward angle here up against the wall since he's low HP. Just going to hope they jump over without spotting him. Finesse, though, coming out the door, is allowed to go in for free. He's still in all spams, but he's also going to go down too. So does JKS. Finesse just kills all 3 of the remaining T players and makes it look easy on the retake.
Nice. They all had really weird after plans, but man, I'm so surprised that Cutler got. He's probably so mad. I'd be mad. I'm mad for him for sure. He's in a really favorable spot. There's no reason for him to try to fall off there. You wouldn't expect to get cleared in that spot. And the fake was interesting. I really like how heavy they committed players to it. That really did sell it. But Cutler was in such like a static position that it's like either if he falls off, he's basically moving to be it. If he doesn't, because they don't see the bomb, because he's a smart player and doesn't want to over-rotate, then he's going to stay up there, which is a strong spot to be in. But even with that and the bomb going down, 3v3, the retake is successful. And CLG win 1 at the end of the half, 6-9.
So now it's going to keep this match incredibly close. Both teams having their moments there, especially for the Renegades, managing a 6-round streak towards the end of the half. But then finally we saw those last 2 getting picked up by CLG, so that helps to keep it close, of course, now as we jump into the second half, and it leaves some room for CLG, if they win this pistol, to very quickly tie it back up at a 9-9 scoreline. Conversely, though, if Renegades win it, well, the scoreline just opens right back up, and it's 12-6.
Yeah. No, the second half pistol is just always this game breaker, and I think for the Renegades, it'd be a nice padding for them. CLG it's pretty integral that they pull this one off. This can get too far away, and when you start to get to the critical round territory, the 12-13 mark, that's when you start making bad decisions.
So CLG, they are going to send their players forward for the most part over here towards the mid-connector. And Nifty's going to have to try and spot for some of this. He loses about 10 of his HP on the way. It's only for 1 bullet that he gets tapped on, though. And JKS trying so hard to find that headshot, but Ethan gets on him. Nifty, though, having a bit of a better time. He's able to take down Ethan relatively quickly there. Now the problem is he is kind of wedged into this alleyway and will eventually just go down to one of the deagles that was bought up from CLG. Now it's a 2v4. The Renegades still trying to win this somehow here, but the take was so strong from CLG. This is going to be very, very complicated for Renegades to somehow still win this pistol round. We can see Justillo sneaking in from A-long, and he's got his other teammate with him here too. Rikke is trained on that angle with the deagle in hand. Kusta, though, creeps out just a little bit too far. He goes down first, but Rikke manages the fight against Justillo. Naf in for the trade. Now he's got a 1v2 with 1 player being relatively low as he moves up to the site. First player he's going to have to look for is going to be the one below Broken Wall. He's found out. Tag down low. Finesse, no, not dead yet. Stays alive. Finally dead at the hands of Naf. One more to go, and he gets it done.
Does he have it? He doesn't have it. No kit. He's got to get out of there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
God.
an
incredible clutch, but he does not leave himself enough time to actually defuse the bomb. So off of that, CLG will just barely win the pistol. And with that, they may have barely bought themselves a ticket back into the game and at least tie it at 9-9.
At least their hearts thought for a second. It was like, with that moment that they weren't sure if he had a kid or not, they must have been so very upset. But fortunately for CLG, they win that. And yeah, just taking a little bit too long in this situation. And you could see by the way he was looking around, there was somebody out there with a kid, he just didn't know where it was. Maybe it was just a pistol to upgrade. I'm not sure if they didn't go 5 armor or not. Either way, Renegades here now are going to be buying up, not spending a ton of money. They still have a lead and want to be responsible on the CT side, or stacked towards A, and CLG have put a bomb up here. It's really, I think it's really good on no matter what round it is as a CT to at least leave one person on the other site, because that allows you to rotate a lot more freely, and it also makes some presence so the teams can't just walk in without assuming that the site's completely open. But it is just NAF. It is just Nifty, excuse me, and all he's got is a USB.
Yeah, and with that, they clear out the entire site. Renegades not going to be much that they can do with these remaining upgraded pistols, so their players are probably going to funnel out in exit spots, give the round over to CLG, and let them bring it up to 8-9 and just try to kill as many as they can on the exit.
Yep, and here is Renegades in a single file line running through spawn, looking to save and looking for the correct exit location. CLG are going to take their time getting out of here. They were more focused, however, on making sure they won the round as opposed to make as much money and win the round, right? That's why you see 4 AKs right out the gate, anticipating a force, which they were wrong about. So they could have had a round where they really built some bank. And next round, since they don't upgrade the AKs, they're going to have another round where they only make 300 per kill. If they lose those players, they won't be able to pick them up. You still get the frag. That's a very big one. Whoa, that was an opportunity and a half. But they didn't invest a lot. So, fully rebought AK. They're not making a lot of money. And I think it's important on a comeback to focus just as much about like winning rounds decisively and making as much money as possible as it is just closing them out. Just as it shows a little bit of a lack of confidence in their anti-ecos.
And now we do see on this round CLG, actually I'm pretty sure just going to go for the same exact execute this time around. But Renegades have switched up their own positions as they now have 5 stacked over here towards B instead, trying to fight it off. Nifty ends up in a bit of an unfortunate position right in the open there. That's going to let Kusta peek him, easily taking him down. Azar, though, surprising for the other side, and the distraction, as we do see, works out as well. JKS coming in there, has to sacrifice his life, but it lets them line up another kill. So now it's a 3v3, and that is pretty much by circumstance just going to send the CLG players over towards A. Yeah,
I mean, they got info on line B. They should be getting the hell out of here, to be honest. As for CLG, yeah, they should be going to A as fast as they possibly can at this point, and they can take as long as they want, but at the same time, they have to worry about that. But took their time, recovered their guns. In the 3v3, bomb's not down quite yet. Rotates are not going to be all that easy. Spam through the smoke is good from Ricky.
Cutler finding another one as well through the doorway. They're able to knock out Ustillo, so it's all down to Naf. He wants to retrieve that AK, and obviously now that it's the 1v3, impossible to win. So he will back up and save that since the gun round's coming up next. Please give him a little bit of extra firepower going into that round.
Will try his best to save. And overall, this is not a bad start to the half for both sides. Renegade got a couple of kills. They forced CLG and they put them in a position of fear where they ended up buying a lot of AKs. They've recovered one of those AKs. CLG, on the other hand, have actually at least put 3 rounds in a row together, which is just important. Not used too much utility. Not had the most amount of rebuys possible. No clutch situations or anything like that. Have gotten bomb plants 3 rounds in a row, which is very nice for their economy as well. Makes up for some of their loss. And now this is when it gets serious. Like, we've got 4 rounds in a row for CLG coming in from the or 5 rounds in a row coming in from the second half. Tied up score line. A pause is called from CLG to talk over this rifle round, to really mull things over. Whereas the Renegades playing on the CT side have probably spent the last couple of rounds just talking about what they're going to do here. And if he's picked up an op, everybody's got the guns they want. Naf has a nice nest egg because of that AK.
Let's get that built up nicely. So now the only question remaining is, now with guns in their hands, are Renegades going to be able to successfully defend against CLG, or will an entry power continue to show here? We've yet to see so far. These teams fight it out on these respective sides on a full gun round here, so this is going to be our nice first taste of what exactly we can expect for the rest of this second half, and for the rest of the game, of course, too. As this has been very, very close so far, and it's a large possibility that it keeps itself close going all the way to the end of regulation and potentially even to overtime if things remain tied up.
Yes, it will be telling for sure. Coming out of this pause, it will be telling as to how CLG are going to approach the rest of this half. Will they set up too often for their executes? Actually, one of the nice things about Cobble for T-side is that like you can't have a default. It can be relatively passive. You can still cover everything, and you're not always going to see CTs pushing for info because it's not always that safe. It's kind of scary, and it's tricky. It's very, very difficult to do.
That massive jumble of cables that Kassad had to carry around there. It was holding like 6 feet of cable.
I thought this was 2017. Yeah. Where's the wireless at?
So it does look like we're actually, I think we're in a technical pause actually here as one of the players is having a small issue. So I believe we're sorting that out real quick. And then we'll jump back in. Bit of an unfortunate round for that to happen on, but.
Yeah, the tension just building up.
See the players are ready, but it's all a matter of winning this one out here. Renegades could potentially lose the lead again, and then they have to run the comeback train. Give CLG.
No one wants to get on the comeback train.
No. It's a rough train. It's a bouncy ride.
Yeah, it's a bouncy ride. You want to get on the comeback plane. I'm going to make it quick, okay? Express. We need SpaceX now.
Comeback Express. There you go.
I want 30 minutes to Beijing.
That was cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's the future right there if that actually happens.
How long are we expecting? How far in the future?
That's the big question. Did he say how far in the future that was, or? I'd say like, I don't know. I'd say like 50 years we could have that.
I feel like Batman doesn't reveal his secrets.
No, that's true. Gonna start hearing stories of mass vigilantes stopping bank robberies in the San Francisco area or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, so trying to see here. Not getting any info yet about what exactly is going on with the players here, so hopefully we get it fixed soon and we can resume the matchup here and get to continue on with it. But remember here, for those of you that may have just started tuning in, that the Renegades do have the map advantage currently. They won due to a great comeback back over on Mirage. Took it 16-13, so if they do close out on the second map too, they are through, out of the group stage, pushing themselves into the semifinals. But for CLG, if they can keep strong and keep this T-side rolling, then they can push it over to a third and final map in order to decide this series and to decide our third semifinalist.
Hopefully we can get a word from the producers as to what exactly is going on.
All right.
Huh. Okay.
So, just waiting for that to get resolved, and then we'll jump back into it here. Curious to see how CLG is going to take this execute too, considering now that they are going to have to go up against the gunpowder. They've been doing this pretty straightforward on the anti-ecos, not trying to reveal anything just yet. We would hope that they would be able to evolve beyond just the usual strats that we do see, those 2 or 3 common ones that are often so played out. That's where I feel like Renegades would be able to easily counter them if we don't see an innovation beyond that from CLG.
Yeah, right out the gate we've seen them playing a little scared and investing a lot to make sure they close out the rounds. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. And maybe they'll feel a little bit more confident on the rifle rounds. They also have all those plants that have made up for the fact that they did buy the AKs right out the gate. So that does balance it out a little bit. But when we move forward, none of that's going to matter so much. Like at this point, it's hard to see exactly who's. Has your prediction changed at all? Like thinking about who's going to win now that we see a 9-9 scoreline on the rifle round?
No, I still think that Renegades is going to be able to pull through. I feel like if it comes down to sort of a war of attrition with these guys trading rounds back and forth, kind of like you were seeing on Mirage, I feel like at the end of the day, Renegades are the more structured team at this point, and they're going to have a greater chance of overcoming that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of grind through the rounds, deal with the upsets a lot better, and just get themselves back on their feet a little bit quicker. CLG seems to rely a bit too much on momentum, and I feel like at the end of the day, if they start, they lose even 1 or 2 really close rounds, it might kind of get to them and impact them in the next rounds following that.
Yeah, they have more Australians, and if you have more Australian, or you have more people who aren't from NA, you have a better chance in the match, right?
That is technically correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at even EPL, right? Top 2 teams,
what are we
zero NA players.
What are we at? Like 45% of the players in EPL for NA are like not even from NA now at this point or something like that?
It's unbelievable, man.
So it's the import region is what it's become now. So it looks like we're finally live again, folks. Once again, apologies for that delay, but let's jump into it. 9-9, dead heat as these teams are tied up. And the winner of this round will get a nice advantage to play off of.
Right out the gate, flashing a long B to make sure that no one can push. A lot of nades in response. They know there's presence from players here, but it has baited out a good utility response from the Renegades. So they expected a rush. It's actually going to be a fake to drop. Azure peeks out, goes 1 for 1. Not the best position to be in, but it is going to be an A play.
A heavy split coming out of drop there with 3 players heading up to the doorway. We can see the ACTs actually pushing pretty far forward. The problem is that's left JKS in a very open position if they hard check his spot there. Ricky, though, finding Nifty, and now it's just going to be JKS left in this corner. He's also found by Ricky. So there you go. The entire site has been cleared out. They've got full control, and for NAF and you still, there's nothing left that they can do. They have to sit back on that B site and save.
Dude, Ricky just like off the peripherals, dismantling the A defense by himself. I actually really like that hit. I mean, it's pretty simple. People do it by accident, but just like spending a little bit of making it seem like it's going to be a rush, buying right into the fear of Renegades that yes, they're going to hit long B and they're going to do it hard, and then using drop to go to A because you're pulling players from definitely outside the back of drop towards long B, even if they are anticipating at least something to go on a drop. Also, you're attracting attention to drop, and they've got Azure to peek into it to fight against 2 players. He did have the smoke to work with, and maybe he gets another kill in a universe very close to ours, but he doesn't do it on this one, and even beyond that, even if he got 2 and got traded out, they still would have been up numbers. I mean, Ricky did a great job when he decided to go back to A the other way. I'm sure it was all calculated. But a nice round to kick it off. And again, this was a lot of question marks leading up to that round. Renegades CLG hit the double digits first. Got a full buy, lots of money. Renegades the same place, but 2 UMPs and not a lot of bank.
So he becomes the hero of that round here. And now as we jump back into the next one, well, let's take a look and see exactly how Renegades are going to have to try to deal with that first gun round loss. Obviously still having the full buys, or still having the somewhat full buy, is going to help them out a little bit here. But ultimately, they need to look for some early kills in order to shut this down, and they'll try to get that by pushing aggressively on the platform here. Ethan, as we can see, getting Molly down to 50 HP. He will be able to peek back out and actually completely counters the push. Finds Ustillo. He's now even lower at 8 HP, but Naf was nowhere in a position to be able to trade that kill. He's going to try to look for it now, but he's got to be careful swinging out here so as not to get peeked out by a player from the other side. But looks like the T's smoke it off themselves, and that should let them attempt to escape into the halls once more. Maybe even re-execute out now that they've gotten a kill here.
Backs against the wall and they're delivering. Nifty looking at lower A with an op, has a ton of info for his teammates. Very confident it's going to be B, but they still have the man advantage on their side. Ethan's picked up the op on low HP, and everybody here has congregated completely. They're open to a flank. It's not going to be there, but Nifty is keeping his eyes open.
Molly going down onto the ground in the corner, but we can see Nav tearing apart 2 players. It's only for those 2 players, though, and now he's been traded out by Ethan. But the remaining CTs very quickly get up to Broken Wall, especially those 2 ump players, too. They're having to split their efforts a little bit, but they don't see anything going, and now Azur's going to be able to jump up, sees nothing here. That should allow them to commit fully for the most part to this rotate here, but we're not seeing that commitment come in just yet. They're still toying around with drop, and that's left Nifty alone, sitting over here behind the default plant spot. He's very quickly going to get overwhelmed. Spots the head of 1 player, though, and is going to be able to take him out with a shot to the neck. Now looks for Finesse. He's going to peek him out here, just being fed kills currently with only 10 seconds left. Ethan's the last man standing. Renegades will be able to easily take him out and tie the game again.
Insanely well played from Nifty there in that situation. CLG do this when their execute fails, they'll just run it back to the other side quite often. We saw that from Renegades as well. This one was a little bit more telegraphed because Renegades started running a little bit later. That allowed Nifty to get in a proper position, and he handled it so well with 3 players approaching from 3 different choke points. I think it was nice, or 3 different areas. It was nice from CLG to do that, and it seemed like they had a chance to get in. Nifty looked like he was in a bit of danger, but again, just masterfully played that basically 1-on-3 situation. Now you got an aggressive A control. Molotov in response, he's really good here. Like, he can take such tight angles, and he's got seriously some of the fastest reaction times you'll ever see for an opper. Needs to flash, but realizes the Molotov means that he can kind of avoid unpeaking. Gets away by the skin of his teeth and throws a smoke down in response. This is a very dangerous game that teams play, where it's going to be, spam versus spam. Boost over the smoke versus flash and Molotov. And sometimes it can be all to get the attention away from another choke point. SK used stuff like this to be able to get players down drop, for example.
JKS will get boosted up on top of this half wall here, waiting for a ramp push, as they pretty much expect a heavy A play from CLG now. So they'll wait for that. And of course put their opera on the position at A long to try and scout for this too. But the bomb has moved back into the B halls, so a large possibility this could end up splitting towards that site. Renegades are not really going to be safe anywhere here until CLG makes that final decision about where they want to take this bomb. They're getting low on time, so they do need to commit to this execute relatively soon, but they're going to do it with only 3 players going into the site from drop primarily. Cutler, however, is able to find out Nifty. JKS really hoping for someone to push up on this other side. Azur gets the clothesliner onto Finesse to take him down, and JKS finally jumping down. He's able to find Cutler. Now they have no choice. They have to go into B, but with that kill onto Justillo, they have cleared out the site. It will be 3v3, however, and the plant hasn't even gone down yet, so Renegades, I would imagine, should be able to rotate in and at least attempt to retake, which I believe they're doing now.
Oh, wow. Are they planning front side? Okay, no. They're just making sure that no one from Long B can take that frag. So it's a pretty good position, 3v3. The Long B comes in early. The Long B comes in early, but it's also Ethan here in a great position to defend against this.
They're pretty much going to see this coming. Ethan gets destroyed by a flashbang. No, but they don't initially hard check his position. JKS will trade, but with Ricky now finding Azur, all the pressure shifts to JKS. He's going to spam it. Oh my god, just destroys Kusta. And now he's got it down to a 1v1. He has no time left, though. He's got to quickly hunt down this player, but actually, he could just stick it from right behind the statue here if he wants to.
He's listening, too.
He's trying to wait for the push to come back out. That player has yet to actually peek from Rock. He hasn't heard the second peek, and now he'll spin back out. JKS takes him down, but once again, they don't have enough time to defuse the bomb. It's just like the pistol. Wow. An incredible play from JKS, but it's not enough to win the round.
Dude, did he not have enough time to defuse that? I feel like it was close enough that...
Kassad looks like angry about this. He looks confused about what exactly happened there.
Time. I don't know, man. He looks like he's a human calculator. I don't know. I'd look on JKS' face. Like, I just trust his calls. You know, I just trust his read. It felt like he had enough time. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I mean, a lot of people would have just tried it just because, you know, like...
Yeah, because look at them. They're on a full eco here anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, the thought that he could have stuck it, too, was a big thing.
Yeah, because he did.
I need a nerd. Is there a nerd out there that can go and check, please? Seriously, I need my nerds right now to take a second look at that round, because it felt like JKS had enough, maybe had enough time.
It's very close.
It was close.
It would have probably been the last tick or two.
It couldn't have got closer than that. And if it's the last tick or two, do you even have the right, you know, to walk away from that?
Well, he instantly walked away from it. That was the thing. He didn't even attempt it.
With conviction.
Yeah, the second he got that, you could see it on replay. The second he gets the kill, he swings wide right because he knows he doesn't have enough time for that.
But how could he know? So how could he know?
I don't know.
How far he got.
Yeah.
You know? He almost got 5 seconds away at least.
So that's such good kills too. The one on Kusta through Chicken Coop.
That's the thing. I mean, you can still put it in the clip if you at least try to go for the defuse. You just fade to black before anything happens. Yeah, end of the 4-minute movie.
Before you blow up. So now we do see CLG gonna go.
He had it, dude.
You're convinced of this now.
Oh my god.
Well, looks like CLG will go for the walkout onto B this time with 2 of their players. They make it pretty easy since obviously, again, most of these guys are working with just pistols, and they've already eliminated the one player that did carry the AK out of the round. Cutler finds Nifty. It's just a matter of eliminating these guys one by one. Naf sneaks out a trade there, able to take down Rick A. And a dink onto Ethan too, but this is all a distraction, of course, for the players to push up A ramp cleanly. And Azur now picking up that dropped AK. I believe it's more so just going to try to stay alive than anything else, as he needs to save this for the next round.
The way he dodged that flash almost gave me vertigo. I did not anticipate that. I look down and to the left. This is tough. I mean, this is a good round. I mean, CLG bring this back, and it's important that after that round, you know, see, Renegades win a round on an island, and then they had the one-on-one, so it's super important for CLG that they not only win that round, but they do it keeping all their players alive. It's been a ton of bomb plants here for CLG. Another one on this round, which is fantastic for their economy, which is as close to in shambles as you can possibly come.
So Renegades really fighting from behind at this point and having to once again find some sort of heroic play in order to get them back into this map. We're very quickly approaching actually the same exact scoreline that we had on Mirage when Renegades rounded the comeback again.
I was gonna say that, like, do we have the same situation where they get a good start, but then Renegades start making some adjustments? Is that gonna happen? It's a new map. It's not the same map, so maybe that doesn't happen. But you know, it is hard. It's harder for the person on the comeback because they have to do more rounds in one half, which means they have to reinvent themselves over and over again. They got to make sure when they do the same thing again, that it's like at a time where it's not being expected, and it's just really difficult from that perspective to get a string of rounds together.
Just pay very close attention to these next 2 gun rounds here. This is where we would need to see that adjustment from the Renegades. This has to be, I believe, the 3rd or 4th gun round in the half. So finally, some good chances for the Renegades to maybe try and turn this around now that they've had some time to play with this. even come out on top of at least a few of them here, but have not been able to string them together consistently just yet, and that's how CLG has been able to come back and now establish a bit of a lead. In comes the execute. Azar will get the first kill. He's still, as you can see, stuck in the smoke, not really able to even figure out where he is, let alone get kills against CLG. Good spam going through the smoke, however, now brings Kusta down to 11. Now Molly and Coup prevents them from taking an aggressive position there, so they're instead going to push on this smoke as they start to fade away. They catch the player boosting up on top, but they can't kill him. Only getting a 1-for-1. There's the kill from Finesse, and then Cutler as well, finding another on sidewalk, trying to get one more inside of drop, but it doesn't happen. It's Azar that finds the kill, and Nifty finding one more with the op. However, Ricky looking for the quick 1v2 clutch. He's going to be able to go out by Nifty and then peek once again to take down Azza and win the round.
Big things from Ricky. What a rounds. 2 frags there, third one to boot, and damn, and there was a couple of nice kills from Cutler as well. It seems like Renegades are not totally on point. Some of those fights took an extended period of time, I feel like, to actually close out. But at the end of the day, that's all CLG are going to think is like, well, we actually closed it out. So that's nice for them. Renegades back on a save once again. It's getting pretty deep into this half. I think it looks like CLG have a road to a third map here. They're looking solid.
Cutler's going to be holding for as long as he can, and it's just a matter of quickly taking down those players as we do see a 15-second round go and close out very quickly here. But now we see Renegades, what could be their last full buy in this entire map, at a 10-14 scoreline. They have to start winning these gun rounds from this point, and they have the best odds at doing it here. A double op setup. It is going to be a little bit risky, though, as they have to buy a glass cannon up for Nifty. Apparently, he's not able to.
Leaving the bomb in spawn. Okay, now they go back and get it.
What's interesting, though, is that Nifty purposefully chooses utility over armor here. He could have gone for at least the, he wouldn't have been able to get the head armor, but he could have at least gone in and bought the 650 armor here, but he chose not to because he wanted to get the smoke and flashbang combo.
Because Nifty doesn't miss, okay? And if he doesn't miss, that means he's not going to take damage.
Just letting the people know.
Right. No, I'm saying this is just the confident, this is the hallmark of a confident operator, going for utility over armor.
Ethan, though, very quickly finding a position up on top ramp here.
Oh, wow, look how close he is.
Yeah.
Nifty's right up. Oh, it's Ethan, actually, right up in there.
Finesse is able to find Ustillo here, too, so that's going to draw more attention over to the B site. For good reason, too. Ethan yet to actually find anything from ramp. He's actually starting to get a little bit nervous that they might have pushed A along. He's right about that, as they do have Nifty kind of crawling back down those steps there.
Everyone's wetting their pants right now. I mean, if Renegades lose this round, match point. CLG don't want to blow this. Easiest road to victory ever. Not get a reset. And yeah, not give Renegades an opportunity to stay off of it. Nifty gets an opening frag at lower mid. Big deal. Maybe Ethan took a little bit too much time to decide what to do. Could have made a play in that situation, but they were up 5-4, so there's not a lot of good reasons to do it. Maintaining the man advantage is huge, but Ricky, who has been turning up all game, kills Nafla at long B.
Is able to go in and quickly take him out of the round. Now Azar Sits is really the only player on the site. Gets the first one. Can he react in time to kill the player at drop? No, he cannot. Finesse takes him down. Just 2 remaining for the CT side. They've already spotted 1 over by Rock, and Finesse is going to take him out too. It's exercising excellent control here towards drop. JKS essentially put it to an impossible situation, and there we go. Kusta shuts it down with an up shot, and that puts CLG up at map point, 15-10.
My guys, they have 9 of the 10 last rounds have gone the way of CLG. And it's not even just been luck, like they have been able to get away with every type of strategy. Here is a split after a default, which is nice to see. And then they also are able to make use of their offer, Ricky with a clutch. They've had a bunch of different ways of doing it. Renegades have to force up because it is the last potential round for them. But not looking up to the challenge of fighting CLG here. And I wonder, even if they had won the pistol, would CLG have come back into it? We don't exist in that that
timeline,
in that part of the simulation. Right? We're not in that part of the simulation, but we can at least kind of theory strike about it.
Nifty continuously trying to go aggressively out through the mid connector to look for a kill. At least it's going to slow CLG down by quite a bit here. They haven't pushed in through very long yet because of that. They haven't tried to conjoin their players to look for a hit just yet. They are going to start doing that now, though, as Nifty finally backed out to the site. The second scout, in the meantime, in case anyone's curious, was being played at B, but it looks like they're just going to take a gamble on this and rotate pretty much everyone over here towards the A site, except for these 2 guys that have been boosted up inside of drop room. To watch for that.
Mickey Troll's been taken. They've done it safely. Renegades playing it scared. Have the stack towards A, which might work out nicely for them.
But you start to see more and more of the T's push themselves forward here too. They're going to start moving in. Down goes Nifty right from the bat. JKS trades out for 2 kills. Unfortunately, not ready to take that third fight. And these rotates are getting torn to pieces. Naf tagging onto 1. And now it's just him and Azur left alive. And Azur's so far away. He's finally going to complete this flank, getting himself into the mid connector. But now he's got to pull off the 1v3 if he wants to keep his team in the map. Otherwise, it is going to end in the favor of CLG, 16-10. Let's see, though, if Azur can pull off the clutch. As right now, he's moving in. And they haven't been able to spot him just yet. He'll creep right up on top. Gonna look for the way back in, finds the first headshot. There's, I think he saw the foot of a player too, wrapping around, but no, Kusta is ready for that. He'll catch the trade, and with that kill, it's CLG that take map number 2, and that evens our series out at 1-1. Both teams having to go to a third map to fight for a slot in the semifinals.
Very well done. A relatively flawless half overall in that second half, and it seemed like after that initial lead that we were gonna have this map basically closed up by Renegades potentially. But man, insane performance, I think, from CLG on their T side. They made it really difficult for the Renegades.
So many close rounds for the Renegades there, and so many close defuses too, as we happen to see, especially in the pistol and that one gun round that ended up happening there, but just not enough to close it out, only picking up 1 round in the entire second half. CLG, great job to them, and now they get to take it all the way to map number 3 to decide this series.
Hell yes.
It's gonna be epic.
Yes.
Absolutely. So with that said, guys, we are going to be going to a short commercial break. Do stick with us, and when we come back, we'll have the third and final map in this series to decide our third semifinalist right here from the DreamHack ASTRO Open at Denver.